Loads of stuff to cover today, folks, including this to start things off. Ford CEO Jim Farley explaining rather candidly why Ford partnered with Tesla for access to Tesla's supercharging network, the adoption of Tesla's charging port, which Tesla themselves prophetically called the North American charging standard, knowing ahead of time what would eventually happen. And then, just after this, a huge breadcrumb being left by some rumours coming out of Ford that seem to suggest something massive in the works that will be hugely beneficial to Tesla.
So I guess it was, personal experience and then more curiosity and then talking to Doug, then seeing the data coming off the vehicles and knowing that our first charge percent was not competitive with Tesla. It became pretty clear pretty quickly that, we could continue to kind of be arrogant and keep our head in the sand, or we could really call them and say, look, we really want to do this.
So the first thing I want to add here is remarkable candor from Jim Farley, which is really important to hear. Ford faced a massive uphill battle just to survive the transition to EVs, but Jim is not only doing what he believes needs to be done, but he's willing to be honest. He's previously praised Tesla as the leader, admitted that Ford engineers are learning from Tesla's engineers in terms of how to put together an electric vehicle. He's praised Musk. This is in direct opposition to the politician in CEO's clothing leading, and I use that term loosely, Government Motors, Mary B.S. Barra, who still, by the way, has not made a single post on X since Musk acquired the company, which is a total coincidence. Oh, by the way, she also happens to sit on the board of directors of Disney, who boycotted X over propaganda from fake research firms around supposed hate speech. So I don't even know why I mentioned that, actually. Mary's really competent. There's no agenda. She's very respectful and super honest. And when she says that GM will surpass Tesla in electric vehicles sold per year and shakes her head while saying that she believes it's possible, that's not a red flag. She's very honest. You can trust her. She and Jim Farley are identical in terms of their character, their values, and their integrity. Anyway, I just had to give credit to Jim. As I've said in the past, and it really is important, until you hear leaders of companies, legacy automotive manufacturers, admitting A, they are light years behind Tesla, B, they need as much help as they can get, C, Tesla is the industry leader, D, they're learning from Tesla, praising the company publicly and openly, admitting the truth. Until you hear these things, these companies are still in the first stage of grief, denial, huge red flag. And again, it matters more than it might seem. In my opinion, Jim Farley is trying to save Ford, as opposed to the likes of Mary B.S. Barra, who is trying to get shit canned via a golden parachute within the next 5 years, probably even less than that. After which, who gives a fuck what happens to GM, because she'll no longer be employed.
And that's what happened. So I think I actually reached out to Elon personally and said, I know you're a mission build company. I know you don't know much about me, but we're number 2 in the EV market now. This was like 2 years ago, and if you're mission driven and the number 2 player, albeit a fraction of yours, comes to you and says, like, we'd be willing to switch formats in our future products as long as you would give access in the interim with an adapter, are you game? Because for us, it seems weird that if you're mission driven, why you would say no.
Now, this is an important and very on-point comment from Jim. It's true, believe it or not, that Tesla is in fact mission-driven. They do in fact believe in their mission. They are in fact guided by their mission, which is to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy, not to accelerate Tesla's success. 2014, a decade ago, Tesla literally open-sourced their patents. This was the moment that anybody observing from the outside would have realized, they actually mean what they say. They actually do give a fuck about transitioning the world. This is insane. They've open sourced all their patents, all their technology. Anyone can use it, as long as it's done so in good faith. How bizarre. Think of another time when a company producing technology, products, and at this point in time, by the way, Tesla, there was nothing else happening apart from a little bit of action in China, some early EV startups. No one was even thinking about electric vehicles beside Tesla. And Tesla's like, here's all our shit, everybody. Go for it. We need more electric vehicles. Here's our shit. Free. Go for it. Many Chinese companies took Tesla up on the offer. This was clear evidence via actions, not words, but actions, because actions speak louder than words, that Tesla really was a mission-driven company. And this is extremely important as an investor, because if you understand that Tesla is mission-driven, you can make a lot of predictions about future actions, more of that in a moment, that will be taken by Tesla, including the fact that they will continue to produce as many vehicles as they can and sell them at whatever the market clearing price is, while simultaneously attempting to drive their costs down as much as possible. Because that is how you get the most compelling electric vehicles in the most customers' hands. Not by slowing down production, not by cranking out Super Bowl ads to try and sell your vehicles for a few more dollars and make a slightly higher profit. This is why it was also extremely predictable that other companies would ultimately begin licensing access to Tesla's supercharging network, utilizing Tesla's chargers, and that's not where the story will end. Back to Jim.
And he thought about it, and then he's like, yeah, I think we could probably make that work, Jim. And then, then it took I think it took 2 weeks to get the contract done, which was pretty world record for us.
This is hilarious, by the way. You've probably heard Sandy Munro, Teardown Titan, describe Tesla's speed. That's a great example. Jim, again, admitting that for them to get a contract done in about 2 weeks was a record for the company. The fact that he not only said this, but it's true, really speaks volumes of how slow-moving a lot of these companies are relative to Tesla. I've got to say, by the way, decisiveness, one of the most invaluable traits somebody can have and deploy. Also, obviously shows how A, serious Ford were about this, and B, how much they realized this was critical to their success and survival as a company.
And it's not an easy thing, right? I mean, the tech has to work, the software has to work, software has to validate the adapter is a legit adapter. We got to get the adapter made and tooled up and scaled. It was a pretty big project. Both team had to be committed to making it happen. And we picked, so I'd say, yeah, it was a bit of an unnatural act on the surface of it. But as soon as we saw the customer's experience, there wasn't much choice. But in the end, it kind of had to come down to Tesla being willing to do it.
Yeah.
And now, after that important build-up, it's time to follow the breadcrumbs. Check this out from Autoline Daily.
The need for more affordable vehicles is causing Ford to make some key shifts. Last month, CEO Jim Farley revealed that the automaker created a top-secret skunkworks program to develop an EV platform that significantly slashes cost. And Alan...
By the way, this is necessary. After all, Tesla is already in an unassailable lead in terms of costs. They're forcing other companies to figure out ways to drive costs down by similar amounts or go out of business. But that's not where this story ends.
Clark, the person who led engineering on the Tesla Model Y, is heading up the program. According to Bloomberg, his team is less than 100 people, and the first models will debut in late 2026, priced around $25,000.
Wow, isn't that miraculous? $25,000. I feel like someone else has announced a $25,000 much lower cost electric vehicle. Now, good luck, Ford. There's zero chance that Ford catches up to Tesla in terms of costs. If they're aiming for a $25,000 vehicle in 2026, either they ain't going to get there by 2026, or alternatively, Tesla's going to have an even cheaper vehicle at that point in time. But at least Ford have realized they need to dramatically slash the cost of their vehicles. Now, last we heard, Ford had roughly a negative 60% margin on their electric vehicles, and credit to them for actually reporting EVs separately. I predicted they would do this ahead of time, so eventually they could spin out their EV business and let the ICE business go bankrupt. Then they started reporting separately. They're on track for this plan, although they haven't officially said this is what they're planning to do, but you can count on it. So at least they're doing the right stuff, or saying they're going to try to do the right stuff. But I would be pretty stunned if 2 years from now, Ford has a vehicle on sale for $25,000, an electric vehicle that's compelling that they aren't also losing about 60% on. But hey, the alternative is to not even try.
There's going to be a compact electric truck and SUV, and possibly another vehicle that could be used for ride-hailing.
Boom. That was the entire point of this very long build-up. Now, these are, of course, rumours, apparently credible rumours, however. Now, if Ford is considering, in fact, not just considering, but actually working on developing a vehicle that is designed for autonomous ride-hail, what software is going to allow that vehicle to drive autonomously? Ford certainly don't have this capability. And this video is not sponsored by Ford, so I'll tell you that. If you know, you know. If Ford is developing an autonomous vehicle, they don't have the software to run this thing, and they know that. They're just working on the hardware. Whose software is going to power this thing? Does anyone know any companies that maybe are developing software that's becoming increasingly more capable that will ultimately be able to drive autonomously safer than a human driver? Who, in addition, may even have suggested fairly recently that they have in fact had a discussion with a large automotive manufacturer about potentially licensing this very software in the future? Anyone know any companies like that? Oh wait, I do. Tesla. Now remember I spoke earlier about Tesla and their mission and actually believing in it? It's not just a bunch of corporate wankery. They actually mean what they say. It is their North Star, accelerating the world's transition, right? The best way to do that via electric vehicles, it's not the only way, but via electric vehicles, is to enable these things to drive autonomously. Why? Because they'll do more miles per year. That's what really matters. It's not the number of vehicles on roads. It's the number of miles driven via electric vehicles versus internal combustion engines. That's the accelerant to the transition to sustainable energy as it relates to transportation. Therefore, the best bang for buck in terms of Tesla's mission is autonomy. Not just to deploy autonomous Tesla vehicles, but to deploy their software to help other companies propel their autonomous electric vehicles as well. In short, this, ladies and gentlemen, to me, is the clearest sign we've had to date that Ford, in the future, will license Tesla's FSD software, and in addition, almost certainly will be the first company to do so, and in fact, are literally building early prototypes and design systems for that very vehicle platform today, with plans to save their company via autonomy. Now, this, of course, should surprise absolutely no one who understands Tesla's mission. In fact, I think there's some guy on YouTube with 3 first names who published a Tesla valuation model back in 2021, and that very first version of the valuation model, shout out to the OGs who still have a copy of that on their hard drives, had the licensing of FSD to other automotive manufacturers. Imagine that. A few years later, Tesla mentioned that they'd actually had a discussion with an OEM about doing this very thing. But it was obvious before that, years before that, that this was inevitable, for many reasons, including Tesla's unassailable data lead. So, you're not going to hear many analysts on Wall Street talking about FSD licensing from Tesla as something tangible or realistic. But I'm telling you folks right now, this is an extremely obvious breadcrumb. If Ford are working on an autonomous vehicle, an electric vehicle, they were already first in line asking Tesla to license access to their supercharging network, to adopt Tesla's chargers, to have the humility to realize this was the best decision. And if they have a leader who is genuinely trying to save the company, how much more of a hint do you need? Now, as I've speculated in the past, and by the way, folks, if you want to see my Tesla valuation model with my current assumptions for FSD licensing, click the link in the pinned comment to join Patreon at the investor level and above. You can see all of my assumptions around autonomy, how much per month, etc., the revenue split. But here's my best guess. My best guess is that because Tesla is mission driven, they're actually going to give a very generous revenue split with companies who license FSD. What do I mean though? Well, let's just pull a number out of our ass. If you want to see my actual assumptions in different cases, again, valuation model is linked in the pinned comment. Let's just randomly use a number. Let's just say, and this is not the actual number, it's an example, okay? Please don't get your panties in a twist. Let's just say the Ford customers have to pay $200 a month to turn on Tesla autonomous software in their Ford electric vehicle. How much of a cut does Tesla get? Let's use a nice round number, maybe 50%. That way, Ford themselves make a fuck ton of money on this software, enough to possibly save the company, and Tesla makes a fuck ton of almost pure profit on the licensing of this software. It's a massive win-win. Now, why would Tesla be so generous with a revenue split? Again, refer to their mission. Tesla can't make enough vehicles to transition the entire world to electric vehicles. It's better for them to help save a few companies along the way via FSD licensing than for these companies to all go out of business. Of course, if this video was sponsored by Ford, I might tell you that Ford's advanced driver assistance system and technology is actually superior to, or at least on par with, Tesla's, and there's absolutely no reason why Ford would ever want to license Tesla's FSD software. But this video is not sponsored by Ford. Therefore, I'm telling you the facts are the facts, and the facts are, I have a confidence level, there's 99.69420% probability that Ford will license Tesla FSD in the future, that they're specifically designing an autonomous vehicle today with that assumption in mind. They've already had the preliminary discussion with Tesla and said, hey guys, are you willing to license up FSD to us if we make an autonomous vehicle? Because we need to survive, so please just, can you give us confirmation that you're willing to do that? And we'll pursue this project because we're trying to save the company. And I believe Tesla said, of course we will. I also suspect Ford's going to be one of the first companies to actually license it. Now, I could be wrong. Somebody could jump the gun, maybe even a lower volume vehicle manufacturer, but it seems pretty clear right now. Ford's entire plan is to save the company by making a reasonable autonomous electric vehicle, licensing Tesla's FSD software, and getting a pretty generous revenue split with Tesla, where in essence, Ford won't make any money selling the hardware, the vehicle. If they even sell them, maybe they'll just build out their own fleet. But essentially a zero margin electric vehicle, and they make their money on the software, which they didn't even develop. Plus, Tesla gets the added benefit, check this out, surely this will be part of the agreement, of accessing the data collected on Ford vehicles to continue to train and improve their autonomous software, further extending their already unassailable data lead. And just to be clear, in terms of logistically how this would work from a technology point of view, the amount of effort required for a company to run Tesla FSD software is minimal. What do I mean? Tesla already has autonomous software operating on a bunch of different vehicles that they produce with different camera placements, different dimensions. A little bit of code in terms of, okay, the camera placements are here, here, and here. That's how we correct for this on the camera positioning on this vehicle versus ours. Plus, a little bit of hardware. Maybe they're buying hardware directly from Tesla with the FSD computer. Probably. You never know. More money for Tesla, by the way. And bam, the software functions. It's transferable with very little effort, meaning Tesla's share of this revenue is almost pure profit. And if you want an idea of how absolutely insane this could be, just some very simple numbers. Let's just say there's 1 million vehicles on the planet made by Ford running Tesla FSD, charging customers $200 a month, but Tesla gets half that, so $100 a month per year. Tesla making over $1 billion in profits. Now, Ford won't be the only company to license FSD, nor do I think that 1 million vehicles is the upper limit for how many would license FSD. They were just nice round numbers to give you a point. For every 1 million vehicles running Tesla FSD, licensing, if there's a 50-50 revenue split and it's only $200 a month, which is way undervalued and underpriced in my opinion, because remember, these things can operate as robotaxis and make a fuck ton of money. But even with these extremely conservative assumptions, every 1 million vehicles that are not Tesla running FSD, it's $1 billion+ per year of profit to Tesla. Bam. Out of nowhere, thin air for almost zero additional effort. And as a result, as part of the agreement, they'll also be able to capture even more high quality data to make the software even better, further extending their lead. This is a really big deal, a massive breadcrumb. Of course, you're not going to hear many people talking about this. That's why I'm mentioning it now. So a few years from now, when it happens, just like the FSD licensing rumors that came out a couple of years after it first appeared in my valuation model, again, link in description, and the supercharging network access, which again, I predicted ahead of time, and many other things, I can revisit, go, oh, look, remember when I said 99.9994269 whatever percent probability this will happen? Look, it happened. How did I have such confidence? Again, because Tesla is a mission-driven company. I think this is the biggest stumbling block for most analysts on Wall Street. They don't understand that. Every action Tesla takes as a company can be viewed through their lens. The fact that they actually believe in their mission is all you need to know.
Why would Tesla cut prices when they could just run some ads and have...
Because of their mission, bro. What's their mission say?
Oh, that's a good point. Why would Tesla open source? Why would you get access to their charging?
But their mission, bro.
Why would they license FSD?
Their mission, bro.
Why would they give a generous revenue split?
Their mission, bro.
I don't understand. But
their mission. I think that's the key takeaway from today's video. Tesla means what they say. If you're ever unsure about any potential decisions Tesla has made or will make, refer to the mission statement. It's a pretty good guide. Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 has given me a massive, meaningful boost in energy, allowing me to do a lot more every day, including using my brain more and using my body more. I highly recommend you guys and girls check it out. It's an excellent way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's got 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients, plus prebiotics and probiotics and digestive enzymes and adaptogens to help you deal with stress. Plus, if you click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR, you can get yourself a 1-year free supply of vitamin D3 and K2. But don't take my word for it. Here's what some of you guys and girls have to say. AG1 has changed my life. I was, as you described, treating myself like a circus, ate like trash, rarely exercised, used alcohol as a stress crutch, cannabis also. AG1 is what gave me the kick in the ass, got me back to the gym, motivated me to do more for myself, family, my business, etc. Keep doing what you do. Now, I know there's some skeptics, the same kind of people who think Elon Musk is a fraud, reading this going,
what do you thought? There's no way that's possible, bro. It must be a placebo effect.
Believe it or not, this is a recurring theme. If you give your body everything it needs to feel and perform its best, including having a lot more energy, you'll need ways to use that energy. For me personally, that includes more exercise, moving my body more social activity, and more cognitively demanding tasks, including producing a ton of exclusive content over on Twitter and on Patreon, plus my daily YouTube uploads. The proof's in the pudding. On to another testimonial from a viewer of this channel. SMR, you asked me to provide feedback on AG1. Here it is. It has helped with mental acuity, stamina, and intestinal waste management. Can't read between the lines. It certainly helps with regularity and digestion. That's what the digestive enzymes are for. It has also dramatically reduced my cravings for sugar. You guys need to stop eating sugar. It's fucking poison. I'm 50, 5'9", and overweight, aka a fat motherfucker. I think that's a technical term for overweight, isn't it? Is it fat motherfucker or obese? I can't remember. I average 100 hours a week in the West Texas oil fields as a safety supervisor. Jesus Christ, dude. No wonder you're struggling to keep your weight under control. 100 hours a week. Brutal. It has helped me lose weight. It is not an appetite suppressant. It can help fat people suppress cravings, and motivation to be healthier is critical for changing your diet. Love you, brother. Again, this is a great point and something people really don't seem to grasp. If you have more energy everything becomes easier. It's like turning on easy mode for life. A few years ago, before I was taking AG1, my health was trash. I was struggling to get through the day, had afternoon fatigue. The last thing I wanted to do was either use my brain or move my body. Didn't have the energy. Now, my biggest struggle every day is figuring out ways to use that energy. I'm exercising way more, doing a lot more with my friends and family, and of course, my work output has increased substantially. And you can fact check me. Check out the average length of my videos I was posting to YouTube 3 years ago. Need I say more? And one final testimonial. Love this one. Okay, here's the deal for me with this AG1 shit. I'm 41 years old and not the type to eat, drink, smoke, or sleep healthy, so I was skeptical. That being said, here's what I experienced. Day 1, meh. Day 2, afternoon fatigue was about 45 minutes late. Day 3, 0 afternoon fatigue. Day 4, 0 afternoon fatigue plus extra energy. Day 5, again, 0 afternoon fatigue plus energy, wondering, what the fuck, really? See, this is the thing, right? The results for many people are just almost too good to be true. This is the same experience I had. My afternoon fatigue just vanished out of nowhere. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Why am I not tired in the afternoons anymore? Surely, it's not that AG1 shit, is it? Turns out it was. Day 6 and 7, same thing. Day 8, same thing. Plus, I had the want to get things done around the house that I normally would slack off and not get done. Again, the point, extra energy, you'll need to use it, you'll find ways to use it. Day 9, 10, and 11, and today is day 12. I fucking love it. So however you managed to get me to buy it, I'm so glad you did. Thank you so much, SMR. It really changed me so far. Guys, this shit really works. Just try it. By the way, this is the reason I continue to relentlessly promote AG1. A lot of people get real fucking mad in the comments.
Oh my god, snake oil salmon sold out. Oh my god, he's a scammer. This is fraud. But
constantly, I'm pretty sure everyone making these comments is also currently short Tesla stock. I'm not particularly concerned about people having a negative perception, those folks suffering from small brain syndrome, still living in my bum's basement syndrome, etc., writing mean comments, claiming AG1's a scam or it doesn't work. I mean, bro, when I get feedback like this is what keeps me going. Just try this stuff for a month, and if you don't get these results, get your money back. See, it's a literal no-brainer. It's an IQ test at this point in time. Testimonial after testimonial after testimonial like this. Get your money back if it doesn't work. Just try it for a month, and if it doesn't work, get your money back. Today's the day. It's finally time. Be like this guy who was a massive skeptic, but finally, after 1,000 promotions in a row, caved in, tried AG1, and has results like this. Head to drinkag1.com/SMR or click the link in the pinned comment, and please, let me know how you're feeling in a few weeks' time. Now, if you'll excuse me, time to put my extra energy to good use. I'll be recording some more exclusive content for Patreon and my Twitter subscribers. So click the links in the pinned comment. See you over on Twitter and or Patreon, and don't forget to grab your AG1. Love ya.